A bad day. There is a human being now in custody for 50 months.
Diddy was just sharing.
Based upon conduct that a jury heard, the jury resolved, and the jury rejected. It is really a sad day for everybody.
I don't feel that way. I feel justice was served.
He should be released
Justice
now.
was
Mr.
served.
Combs
Free
should
P.
be
Diddy.
home.
Free Sean Combs.
Mr. Agnifilo,
Yeah,
were you
Trump,
able
Diddy,
to
Epstein, all
appeal? What's the
innocent.
timeline on that?
So yeah, we are planning to appeal.
I want to hear them, bro.
We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal. The strongest basis is that the jury reached a verdict on coercion. It found there was not coercion, and I think the judge said coercion today as a basis for a sentence at least a dozen times. We think that that is unconstitutional. We think that a jury verdict should mean more than our jury's verdict seems to mean, and so we are planning to appeal.
Diddy's own lawyers just turned the tables and sued him this week. At the same time, one of his sons jumped on stage at a live concert, tried to hype the crowd, and got hit with total silence, not even a cheer. Meanwhile, somewhere online, two women linked to Diddy are publicly arguing about who will be his favorite when he eventually gets out of prison. The drama around his name just keeps spinning louder every single day. Federal Correctional Institution, a low-security prison in New Jersey. Reports say he's making about 40 cents an hour working inside the Chapel Library, and even if there's talk about possible legal moves that could change his situation, the world outside those prison walls is still chaos. His business empire has been unraveling piece by piece, and he's facing dozens of civil lawsuits piling up around him. Meanwhile, his sons Justin and Christian are out in public trying to keep the family name from completely falling apart under all this pressure. That's the setup.
All right, y'all, let's get into the show right now where Diageo, I wonder how much money Diageo really has because I always hear about them. Well, they've officially cut ties with Sean Combs. Diddy, take that, take that, take that. That's what Diageo said. And this comes after Diddy sued the beverage company for allegedly not supporting their joint ventures, namely Ciroc Vodka and De Leon.
Now let's break down what actually went down this week, because this is where things got serious fast. The biggest action happened on the legal front, and the pressure around Diddy's case just got a whole lot heavier. Back in December 2025, Diddy's legal team filed an appeal against his 50-month sentence. Their argument was simple but bold. They claimed the punishment was way too harsh. In fact, they even called it draconian, which basically means cruel and extreme. According to them, the judge punished Diddy based on accusations that the jury never officially convicted him of. Because of that, they pushed for two possible outcomes, either a full release or at least a reduced sentence. That was their big move. But prosecutors didn't sit quietly. On February 21st, 2026, they fired back with their official response, and they came in strong. They defended every single part of the judge's ruling and made it clear they believed the sentence was completely justified. Prosecutors argued that the judge reviewed all the evidence carefully before making the decision. In other words, the government is not backing down at all. Now everything leads to one major date, April 9th, 2026. That's when the hearing will take place at the U.S. Court of Appeals in Lower Manhattan. 3 judges will hear the arguments, and each side gets only 10 minutes to make their case. 10 minutes to argue for freedom or for the sentence to stay in place. Best case scenario, the conviction gets overturned and Diddy walks out free. Middle ground, the sentence gets reduced, maybe cutting years off the time. Worst case, the appeal is denied and he serves the full 50 months. And while that legal battle heats up, another war is starting too, the money fight. On February the 23rd, 2026, just 2 days after that legal clash, TMZ reported that Diddy and his son Christian were hit with a lawsuit, and not by a rival celebrity, not by a stranger, but by their own law firm. The firm is called Summa LLP, and according to their filing, they had been working for Diddy since March 2025. We're talking about serious hours too, over 100 hours from attorneys and around 90 hours from paralegals, all stacking up while the bills sat unpaid. The total they claimed they were owed came out to $53,608.35. Now, the small bit of good news, if you can even call it that, is that the situation got settled this week. The case was dismissed after the payment was handled. But here's the real reason this story matters. When your own legal team has to drag you into court just to get paid, that says a lot about what's happening behind closed doors. The bills keep piling up, the cash keeps draining, and there's no clear sign that the pressure is slowing down. Now step back and look at the bigger picture. Diddy's net worth was once estimated at around $1 billion. Today, most reports place it somewhere between $400 million and $600 million. That's a massive drop of nearly 40 to 60% in less than 2 years. His major partnership with Diageo, the company behind Ciroc Vodka, is completely finished. That deal lasted 15 years and was worth hundreds of millions. Now it's gone, and the legal problems keep stacking up. Civil lawsuits are still being filed, and earlier this year, a court approved sexual battery claims moving forward. That means more legal battles, more settlements, and more money flowing out the door. While all of that chaos is happening on the outside, Diddy is sitting inside Fort Dix, reportedly folding laundry and earning around 40 cents an hour. Financial war? Right now, it looks like he's losing that fight badly. And that leads us to war number 3, which might be the hardest part to watch. Diddy can't speak publicly right now. He can't post online, he can't give interviews, and he can't defend himself in front of the public. So his sons, Justin and Christian, have stepped up to fight that battle for him, and the internet has not been kind. Let's start with Christian, also known as King Combs. He was performing during the Room 112 tour in Inglewood, and at one point he tried to get the crowd hyped up. He grabbed the mic and shouted, "Yo, everybody say bad boy," and the crowd answered with nothing. Not a little pause, not a few awkward seconds, but full-on silence that felt painfully loud. The moment was so uncomfortable you could almost hear the air in the room. Within minutes, the clip was flying across social media and going viral everywhere. And of course, 50 Cent was watching. He reposted the clip on Instagram with the caption, "Damn, his timing was just a little off." That post lit up the internet instantly. Christian didn't stay quiet either. He jumped into the comments firing back, calling 50 a senior CI and claiming 50 only posted the clip because of old drama involving his child's mother, Daphne Joy, who had previously been linked to Diddy. 50's reaction? Pretty much a shrug. He didn't really engage in the back and forth and just kept moving like it was another regular day online. But the tension didn't stop there. Justin and Christian also announced they're working on their own documentary series set to land on the Zeus network in 2026. Their goal is to tell their side of the story and push back against the Netflix documentary that focuses on their father. When 50 Cent saw that announcement, he wasted no time jumping in again. He reposted the news with a voiceover listing several accusations connected to the situation around the family. His caption read, "Wow, I won't see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea." The reaction online was brutal. Christian tried to rally the crowd earlier and got silenced. He tried to respond to 50 and the response barely landed. Meanwhile, the documentary announcement from Justin and Christian was getting mocked online before it even had a release date. So while all 3 of these battles are unfolding, one big question remains. What is Diddy actually doing right now? He's currently inside Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution in New Jersey, a low-security prison. Reports say he's working inside the Chapel Library, earning around 40 cents an hour. But there's one move he's making that could actually help him. Diddy has reportedly enrolled in the Residential Drug Abuse Program, also known as RDAP. This is the most intense treatment program offered in the federal prison system, and if he successfully completes 12 months, it could knock 1 full year off his sentence. That would move his possible release date from May 2028 all the way up to February 2027. But here's the problem. Diddy already managed to get himself into trouble inside the prison too. Back in November 2025, he was written up for violating prison rules after making a 3-way phone call. And the rules inside federal prison are crystal clear. No multi-person calls, not even when the conversation is related to legal matters. The punishment hit immediately, 90 days with no phone privileges and 90 days without commissary access. That means no outside calls and no access to the small items inmates usually buy inside the facility. Diddy's publicist pushed back on the situation and said the call was part of a protected attorney-client conversation, claiming nothing inappropriate happened. But prison officials didn't see it that way at all. They said the move showed a clear disregard for the rules, and the result was another setback for him. Because of that violation, his official release date was pushed back. It was originally set for May 8th, 2028, but now it has been moved to June 4th, 2028. An extra month added on. even behind bars, the situation around him keeps getting more complicated. And while Diddy sits inside prison dealing with legal fights and public criticism, something even stranger started unfolding online this week. 2 women connected to him began arguing publicly across social media. One of them, Gina, who has been openly supportive of Diddy, went online and started calling out Young Miami, also known as Carisha. Gina claimed she's the one Diddy truly cares about because she stayed loyal and didn't cooperate with prosecutors. She even said she wants to stay his side piece for the rest of her life and hopes he gets out in just a few months. Meanwhile, Carisha is also reportedly waiting for Diddy's release, and the tension between the two quickly turned into a full online feud. And now the 2 of them are publicly arguing online about who gets to be number 1 on the waiting list. Honestly, it's hard to even know where to start with that. But let's slow down for a second and look at the reality of the situation. Right now, a large portion of Diddy's assets are reportedly being managed through TriStar Entertainment. Reports say even members of his own family have to go through that system just to get certain expenses handled. On top of that, he's dealing with more than 80 active civil lawsuits, and his estimated net worth has already taken a massive hit. So the idea that he's going to walk out of prison and instantly start financially supporting side relationships again, that's not really a solid plan. That sounds more like wishful thinking than anything grounded in reality. Meanwhile, you've got Gina calling out Carisha, and Carisha reportedly still waiting on Diddy, with both of them going back and forth online over a man who is currently sitting inside a federal prison. None of this actually helps his situation. If anything, it just shows how chaotic everything around him has become. The center of the storm can't control anything right now because the center of that storm is sitting inside a small prison cell, earning around 40 cents an hour. Now, before we wrap this part up, let's go back to the most important date in this entire situation, April 9th, 2026. At 10 a.m. inside 40 Foley Square in Lower Manhattan, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit will hear the case. 3 judges will sit on the panel, and each side will only get 10 minutes to argue their position. Here's the interesting part, though. The Second Circuit Court actually fast-tracked this appeal. Normally, cases like this can take years to move through the system, but this one is happening within months. Legal analysts say that kind of speed is unusual, and it often signals that the court believes there are serious legal questions worth examining. That doesn't mean Diddy automatically wins his appeal, but it does mean the doors open in a way that might not have been before. The judges are willing to hear the arguments, and that alone changes the energy around this whole case. Best case scenario, the conviction gets overturned and he walks out a free man. Middle outcome, the sentence gets reduced, which could mean he's out much sooner than expected, maybe even before the end of the year. But the worst case is simple. The appeal gets denied and he serves the full 50 months, keeping him inside until June 2028. Everything comes down to that one moment. April 9th, 10 minutes in front of 3 judges. The legal battle, the money problems, the public drama, all of it leads right to that courtroom. So let's recap where every battle stands right now. War number 1, legal. Prosecutors pushed back hard on February 21st, defending the entire sentence and refusing to give an inch. Now both sides are heading straight toward that April 9th hearing. War number 2, financial. His own law firm sued him to get paid. His estimated net worth has dropped nearly 40 to 60%. Business partnerships have collapsed, and the empire that once looked untouchable is under serious pressure. War number 3, public. His sons are trying to defend the family name, but the internet has been ruthless. Christian's bad boy crowd chant was met with silence, and 50 Cent didn't even need to try hard to turn the moment into a viral jab. Even the documentary Justin and Christian announced started getting mocked before it was released. Meanwhile, inside Fort Dix, a rules violation already pushed Diddy's release date further back instead of bringing it closer. The man who once called himself Puff Daddy, who ran one of the biggest labels in music and threw some of the most talked about parties in entertainment, is now sitting in a small prison cell while everything around him keeps battling it out. We'll be back next week tracking what happens as we get closer to April 9th, the legal updates, the financial developments, and whatever new moves pop up online. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Diddy's appeal is going to work, or is he serving the full 50 months? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this breakdown interesting, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video so more people can join the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.